My first story is part of a series of stories that I'm going to read tonight. They're not connected by the people at all, but it is a very similar thing. And like I said, it's a bit of a rabbit hole I went down. The title of this story is The Staying on the Lake. I live in Michigan, about 40 minutes away from any large town or neighborhood. I like it that way. I enjoy the solitude. I like to go camping, and I have a truck and a small rowboat that I use for fishing. I can take it anywhere because it fits in my truck bed. I leave the hatch open and strap it down. It's light enough for me to handle on my own, so it's really nice to bring a cooler of beers, my fishing gear to local lakes, and use my boat. I'm very careful to wash my boat between lakes because I know about invasive fish and parasites, so I clean and wax the boat every time I use it. I get to the lake that I'm headed to today, and it's a very overgrown, horribly so. I had to clear big sticks from the path that had been there for a while, or looked like they had, till I reached the lake. As I pulled up, there was a small clearing and a decent-sized lake, about the size I could row across in 10 minutes or less if I tried. I pulled in, I loaded my boat and my beer. I was off on the lake in under 20 minutes. I brought my beer cooler on the boat with me because I can, and there's nothing better than boats and beers and solitude. I was on the lake and I noticed that staring at my boat from the shore, there was a tall, skinny, and intelligent-looking animal that was standing on its hind legs. The creature had long, stick-like arms and long, thick legs. It was a little bit far to see very well, but it may have had large brown eyes. It had to have been my imagination, I thought, so I tried to shake myself out of it. I couldn't believe my eyes when I realized I wasn't hallucinating. From my view, I guess it would have been about 8 feet tall, considering how tall it looked next to my truck. He was looking at me. I felt petrified. There's nothing at all that could have made me feel safe in that moment. Even if I thought to shoot at it, I had left my gun in the car. I reached for my oars after I was startled. It seemed to notice and stopped looking my direction, which made me feel more upset, because that meant it had been watching me, probably for a while, before I looked over towards it. The animal that went and started to inspect my truck, tapping on it, and it looked like it was checking out its reflection. I couldn't do anything, but I had to watch in horror while it made some shrieking noises and ran into the woods on all fours. It disappeared into the forest almost instantly. I can't describe how difficult it was to row back to shore after seeing that. My arms felt like jelly, and my heart was out of control. I felt like my whole body was dunked in ice water, and it was uneasy until I got home. When I got to shore, I considered leaving my boat behind. But instead, I ran to my car to get my sidearm and loaded up the boat. Went on to say in a comment that he still goes out in nature, but this was a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence that makes him now practice sharpshooting and makes him keep his gun with him at all times.
Is it a sidearm if it's not on you?
That's a good question. I would say no.
That's the first thing I thought. How inconvenient. It just was not on you.
So this is, like I said, the first in 3 different stories of a very similar creature. After I read these stories, and in fact, once we get to the end, I'll tell you what my thought process on this possibly be, because these days get progressively weirder.
I'll tell you my thought process of what it seems like now to me, if I had to guess. It sounds like a death claw from Fallout right now. That's just where I've got. Somebody said, remind me to never go fishing. The creature just wanted to check out his truck. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, maybe you just like this truck. Yeah, you never know.
The first thing that came to my mind was possibly a bear with mange. I don't know if you've ever seen a hairless bear.
Yeah.
It's like a nightmare, right? So that was the first thing I thought. But then I kind of dug into these stories, and they are everywhere, and they get crazy.
8 foot tall, you said, right?
8 foot tall, yeah.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, so it was like twice the height of his truck, basically, or something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess a bear could stand on its back legs, right? Be that tall.
Grizzlies get real tall.
Where was this at again? Michigan, you said? On a lake in Michigan.
Yeah.
That's a pretty neat one. So it's going to progress. So the stories you have the rest of this night are going to progress off of that?
Yeah, They're not even by the same person. They're just all over the place.
So what happened was he ended up into the water, right?
Yeah, he was on his boat out there. And so he got out there a ways, and he kind of just looked around, and he saw this thing staring at him in the water. And at first, it didn't know that he saw it until he started rowing back. And then the fact that it was like, it acknowledged it, that he was coming back, put him off even more. And I agree, that would be absolutely insane.
He wasn't rowing anywhere too fast, was he? He even debated if he was just going to give up that boat.
Yeah, it wasn't even worth it.
It was just a rowboat after all.
I mean, he said it was small enough he could fit in the back of his truck and manhandle it himself. I don't think that's worth saving.
Yeah, at these points in times, you just wish you had a real damn boat. If you can't get away as fast as something swimming, then that's not the kind of boat I want. Screw the boat, somebody said. Somebody said, to hell with the boat.
Jeff Townsend Media. CG, good night.
And the question is, do I stay here? Will you be back? Are you gonna come back? Will you be back? Are you coming back?